Bonjour, je suis RetroJules, le pétrolier de mer d'Angleterre. Many moons ago, in fact probably when I first started playing the game, I started with heavy tanks and I went down the French heavy line. I got as far as the tier 9 AMX50 120. Didn't like it. I didn't like the AMX50 100 before it. And I had then decided to grind some other lines. I got the T57 Heavy. And when you got the T57 Heavy, you thought, well, why do I need an AMX50B? So I never bothered. And I got as far as tier 9 and just dumped it. But currently, the AMX50B is the on-track tank of the moment, with discounts and extra XP. So I thought, well, why don't I just buy it and see if it's better than I remember? And this is how it went. So my memories of this tank were pretty awful, even when it was a heavy, because it is now a medium. But none of the stats have changed. It was a pretty much unarmoured, massive heavy, which was quick and had an effective auto-loading gun with good penetration. And now that it's a medium, doesn't change anything apart from the matchmaker, I suppose, really. But what I do remember about this tank is you absolutely had to stay hidden because it is huge. So I took my AMX50 120 crew at tier 9, transferred them into this and sold the tier 9, and they're a 75% trained crew in this game. They will eventually have Sixth Sense, repairs, snapshot, safe stowage, brothers in arms, and they are training in situational awareness. I've equipped the tank with optics, vert stabs and vents. And I thought, as much as I never wanted to buy this tank, it was cheap, it was on offer, and I thought there may be people out there grinding it, wanting to know what it's all about and whether it's worth the grind. And the thing is with this tank is, you've probably noticed, you never ever see it out there. Up until now, probably, because people are thinking, well, actually, I might as well grind it because I've got the XP bonuses and I've got the silver discounts through the tech tree. But I can't play it, and I think that's why I gave up on it initially. The trouble is for me, because it's a quick tank, I tend to get to places rather quickly. I tend to get to places before other tanks do, and I get lit up because I am huge. This is very much a support tank, and you've really got to hang back and just not get spotted and not get targeted. And then, if the opportunity arises, you have the speed and the firepower to go running in and unleash hell. But you've got to make sure that you can run in and unleash hell without any of the enemy spotting you, because you are huge, and the chances are, if you're going in for an enemy, you're going to be side on to somebody, and this tank is so soft. I train them in safe stowage because this used to get ammo racked so often, and it's probably almost worth having a wet storage actually, but I haven't in this instance, and it hasn't caused me too many problems. This tank virtually has no armour. It's got a little bit, it's got a great big thick belt of really heavy armour right on the beak of the glacis and underneath, and then it's got some quite effective armour on the front of the upper glacis, but the turret, nothing. It's quite angled, but if you're trying to play your 10 degrees of gun depression over a ridge, your turret is not angled enough to deflect any of the enemy shots. It's not like the Kranvan, and the trouble is, for me, when I got the T57, it was like, well, that is so much better than this. Although maybe the gun handling isn't quite as good, but as a tank, I found it more effective. And then when the Kranvan came out, which is kind of a slow version of this tank, but with amazing armour on the turret, it's like, why are you going to play this tank? Why are you going to play a massive tank with virtually no armour? Well, here we are, playing a massive tank with virtually no armour, and I'm trying to hang back, and I'm trying to be a bit snipey, and I'm going to make a mistake here. A mistake, many amongst others, where, oh, there's Artie, but I just snap a shot to the object. I could have had 2 shots on Artie and taken Artie out of the game. That was a really poor choice for the sake of trying to get 1 shot in that heavy, which wouldn't have made a whole lot of difference. So Artie escapes, hanging back for the reload, the massive 30-second reload, which actually doesn't seem that massive after you play a Vanguard, which is 28 seconds. It's only 2 seconds shorter for 3 shots that do 220 damage each. So we're trying to get some shots in this object, and actually, all things considered, with a 75% crew, it's not going too bad. Just snatch a shot into the baby waffle and get another reload done. The game is very even. It's an encounter battle, and while I was playing this, basically I had a week, and I thought, I didn't play all week, I just played during the week, and I thought, what am I going to play? I'm going to play the AMX30B and the AMX50B, because in my mind they are still redundant tanks, and I don't think that they are competitive against a lot of tanks out there. Please correct me if I'm wrong, but I've been playing the AMX30B, not had a whole lot of joy. There are so many other tanks, there are so many other mediums at tier 10 which are so much better, and well, this, I don't really know if this is a medium or a heavy anymore. It plays the same, so it's still a heavy in my mind, just a fast heavy or a big medium. It's a funny tank. Get a tracking shot, another shot in, go on. Oh, just missed. Well, it looks like we're going to wrap this game up, and 3,500 damage, that's absolutely fine. I had a week of playing the AMX30B and this 50B and having dreadful, dreadful games. And I was determined to try and play some games that were, well, I wouldn't say worth showing on the channel, but were acceptable on the channel as games. Well, hurrah, we win. All things considered, with a 75% trained crew, that actually went okay. So how do we do overall? Just over 3,500 damage, so just over 4,000 combined, 3rd class mastery. That's okay. And how we do overall on the team? Well, sort of top middle-ish. Well, this is how the other games went. So the plan in this game was to try and be supportive. We are 2 tiers up. There are obviously very, very few players at tier 9. They're all tier 10 and tier 8 in this game. I've called this Drum and Ram because when this tank came out, the video, Wargaming's video on PC promoting it was called Drum and Ram. They sold you this tank. No, that's not right. They sold this tank to you by suggesting that you've got the speed to ram. You've got that great big belt of thick armour on the front of the beak to ram and do no damage to yourself. And you've also got a very effective drum's worth of damage that you can do. So they were kind of suggesting that you can just unleash your drum, get the enemy down to not much health, and then just ram it to finish it off. Sounds like a great idea. In practice, never managed to achieve that. This tank, as I've said, is huge. You can't sneak up on the enemy, and yes, you're fast, but you're not super fast. So the chances of you getting to that enemy, unleashing a drum and ramming it, I think are pretty unlikely. So I sort of dither around here, you know, because I know damn well that they will get shots into my turret. I don't have the armour there. I've had a lot of bounces on the front of the Glacis when I'm reversing back and tanks are taking shots at me. Whether they've been auto-aiming, I don't know, but I've had a lot of shots glance off that Glacis. But as far as I'm aware, I haven't had any shots bounce off the turret. So here we go. We go in. We got our first kill. Just going in where the tanks aren't looking at me and getting the damage in. The mistake I made in this game at the beginning, of course, was that, you know, I'm a support role, so there was me charging ahead, front of the charge in a great big soft tank, and it's just, no, why don't I just hang back? And I have a real problem hanging back in this tank. I want to get stuck in, and you just got to do it from a distance. Shot on the TD. Yes! Second kill. Hurrah. No, I'm not going to fall back. I'm going to drop down on the dip. We're possibly a little bit weak towards the cap. We may have to defend our cap, but actually there are mediums that can go back quite quickly. So I thought I would just pop up and see what's what. And the heavies are following me. There's a Centurion. See, I've spotted 4 tanks, and I really don't think in this tank you want to be spotting anything, because if you do, it's going to be like, surprise! And the Centurion's going to play it hold down. See, he's got turret armour, and no, don't bother, Retro, don't, no. I know it's tier 9, but that wasn't going to go in. Well, I want to reload. And so this is me going for the ram. Yeah. Pick up your speed. No, just go for it. You're going to go for it? Not yet. For some reason, you decide to go now that you're the only tank in the vicinity. I'm not sure what the thinking is here. A ram isn't going to take 600 health, but somebody gets a shot in. That was just luck. And I go for the ram. Take the tank out. So, yeah, ramming. Effective if you can get to the tank without it annihilating you first. Tank destroyer over on the left. We're 2 tanks up. We're capping, they're capping. It's going to be a cap off. 10 seconds to go. Well, should be able to get get a shot in the tank destroyer, pick up our 4th kill. Yeah, we're going to win by capping. Oh well, it's a victory, I'll take it. 4 tanks destroyed. Not overly bad. So it was a bit more hanging back and trying to be a support tank, kind of. when I wasn't ramming and leading the charge. Just over 2,000 damage. Yeah, good on XP, but yeah, it was, you know, the 4 tank kills were quite good. I was quite happy with that. 3rd class mastery, 3rd from top. It was, you know, it was an okay game, I suppose. Not overly exciting. Well, this is how some of the other games went. Well, this time we'll try and do some proper supporting. Maybe. Don't get me wrong. With my tanking ability, I can make any tank in this game look crap. And I can do it regularly and easily. But if a tank is half decent, I do have the ability to have some quite good average games. And these games that I'm showing you now were about as good as they got for me. Just really mediocre, hanging back, a bit dull, and I'm hoping that you'll come back to me and say, well, actually, Retro, you know, you're playing this tank completely wrong. If you do this, this and this, you will have some awesome games. But I have a feeling that there's a reason why you never see these tanks out on the battlefield. I think there's a reason why you never see this tank, and really the AMX50B, out there on the battlefield, because I just don't think they are competitive compared to a lot of tanks that are out there. I would much rather be in my tier 9 Kampfpanzer than this. For sure, and that's 1 tier down. I would much rather be in my Patton. I'd much rather be in my Centurion Action X. Which, you know, that's got manoeuvrability, and it's got great armour, and it's got great shell velocity. I like this tank. No, I don't. I like this style of tank because I like the oscillating turrets, and I love auto-loaders. I just love the ability to be able to unleash a drum. And I've said it before, because I'm such a crap shot, it's nice to have some more shells to fire rather quickly. Right, so far so good. Just hanging back. I suppose if anything I tend to be a little bit overcautious with this tank, but I don't really have the ability to sort of peek over ridges and keep snapping sort of half-aim shots and letting the vert stabs do their thing. I can't do it. I've never been able to do it. Shot in the IS-7 on a reload. Park up out of the way. And so far I'm quite pleased with this position. I think it's quite beneficial for the team because I can be a real pain for the enemy because they've got to keep looking up here. And the trouble is, I need to be slightly further to the right. There's just this little hillock on top of this hill that's just, my 10 degrees just won't quite get over. Every time I come over, there we go, I just rise up over it. I need to be where that tank is. Well, hopefully, yeah, it takes its shot and bounces. Can I get a tracking shot? Oh, no, reticle was white. Didn't go in. Yeah. Nice, easy, soft side shot. Kind of asked for that. Well, getting a bit bored, really. I'm just going to go in. I mean, I've got the speed. I mean, this tank is fast downhill. It's fast on good, firm ground. But uphill and on boggy ground, it's pretty dreadful. And I'm kind of surprised I got away with that, really. That was reckless. But I was just a bit bored of sitting back, supporting. I guess this tank isn't for me. Can we go in and finish off? Oh, come on, get the reload done. Come on. Yes. First kill. Hurrah. Surely between us we can get this E5 taken out. A nice ammo rack. Nice shot in, and it's finished off. Hurrah. Well, we're 5 tanks up. I think we've got this game. For whatever reason, while I was playing this tank, Sand River was coming up so many times. I don't mind. I really like Sand River as a map, but it was heavily in rotation when I was playing. Oh, come on, come on. That's a nice, easy, soft shot. Oh, I don't move now. I'm nearly reloaded. Come on, here we go. What? Where the hell did that go? And then my reticle was white and the shot went in. Oh, I have no idea. 2 shots left. Yet, do a reload. So there's a Batchat at H1. I think he's on full health. And that's the direction I'm going in, but I don't want to be taking that on head to head because that is going to run rings around me. So a Batchat and 2 lights. They've got some fast tanks left for us to clean up. Yeah, there's the Batchat, and he is on full health too. So, supporting role, Retro. Come on, just don't go wading in there. Let the light tank do a bit of damage first. And the Batchat's on the run. Last tank is going to go into the little village, and I'm not going to get a shot on that now. But I'm going to go in just in case all else fails. Well, it's just under 3,000 damage. A little bit of assist. Nothing amazing, and yeah, these games that I've shown you were as good as I got. I am sure a really good player can go out in this and have an amazing game, but I bet there'd be a lot of crap games in between because it's so easy to hit. So how do we do overall? Not bad on silver, just under 3,000 damage. It was, yeah, 3rd class mastery again. It was okay, it was acceptable, and top mid-table yet again. Well, I don't normally do a 4th chapter, but the 3 chapters of the AMX50B would give anybody perhaps a fairly good idea of how me, as a very average crap player, has the experience of it. And it was a whole week of French tanks. I thought I'll keep it French. Originally, this video was going to be a selection of French tanks. I was going to feature the AMX30B and the 50, sort of as a sort of, are these tanks redundant sort of question. But I thought, actually, I'll focus on the 50B because that is the current on-track tank. So it was a soul-destroying week of tanking, and I thought, no, I've had enough. So between you and me, I don't think I'm going to be playing the 30B anymore. I'm not going to be playing the 50B anymore. Luckily it didn't cost me a lot of silver, really, and I've got loads of silver, so I've just gained another tier 10 tank. But it's been a while since I played the Batchat, and I thought, do you know what? I want to roll out the Batchat, because the Batchat is kind of how the AMX50B is sold to you without the ramming bit. It's the drum bit. It's the ghost tank. You just sneak up on people when they're not focusing on you and just unleash your drum and then just disappear. Keep the tank on the move, and that is my sort of gameplay. I enjoy it, it's fun, and I thought, let's finish this today with a Batchat game, because I haven't played the Batchat for such a while, because the crew have been... well, there's 3 kills straight away. Because the crew have been in my vanguard and I've gained a lot of crew skills. And I thought, let's do it. So we find ourselves on Con. We're 8 minutes to go with 3 tank kills, with 3 shots, and just over 1,000 damage. I've always liked this map. I quite like the way this map plays. I quite like the ridge, which sort of, you know, really divides the 2 teams up, and, you know, who dares go over the ridge first. Now I know that there's a TD at the back here, and I thought, as much as, well, there's, you know, we should be defending our cap, really. We're probably a little bit too far out, and kind of got away with this. I thought, I just need to get around the back, and ooh, maybe I should have changed position, but its shot bounces. Can't be happy about that. RT's raining shots in, so I'm just going to stay behind. And I was hoping to get the tank kill here. I thought I'll take one more shot and then I'll wait. Somebody else can just do the damage, I can get the kill. And then it was like, actually no, I better, you know, I'll do my bit. Let's get a reload done and let's go and see if we can take RT out. However, I don't think I'm going to get to RT in time. And you know, you look at the reload on this, you look at the damage it can do, and you look at the speed of it, and the sort of the low profile, and I think to myself, why? Why would I want to play the 50B when I can play this? I'm having so much fun right now already. Admittedly, you know, I am a little bit of a... The games that really appeal to me and I enjoy the most are the headless chicken, auto-aim, constantly on the move, rolling around the map, trying to use my map awareness to stay out of trouble. And they're the games that I generally really enjoy. Well, with 3 tanks up, can get a shot in, shot in. Oh, and a shot from the right. Where did that come from? Wasn't expecting that. But then, you know, I am up on high up on a ridge, quite visible. And yeah, see, I know I was going to go in there, but that would have been reckless, so I decide not to. Let's see if we can go and help with this STI. Oh, nice bit of driving. Well done, Retro. Nice. Nicely done. And yes, kill number 4. Hurrah! Just going around cleaning up. 1 heavy left. I don't think I'll get round there in time, but 3,800 damage. The 1,050 bounced. Block damage, so that was rather good, and 1,100 assist. So just altogether, just a much more pleasing game for me, and I really enjoyed that game. I enjoyed that one game, and that was the only Batchat game I sort of played. I just rolled it out and went, do you know what? That's it. I'm happy. I'm sticking with the Batchat. 95,000 silver, just under 7,000 XP, 3,800 damage, 1,100 assisted, a first class mastery. Don't normally get block damage on the Batchat, and we came top. Hurrah! Well, I hope you enjoyed the gameplay. I'm really looking forward to what your experiences are or have been grinding up to the AMX50B. You might not be that far, so what do you think of the tanks so far? And do you think that the end tank is worth the grind? Maybe you're absolutely brilliant in it, and I would love to hear some of the great games that you've had in the AMX50B, and maybe you have a reason why it's just not out there on the battlefield. Keep safe, keep tanking, and I'll see you soon.